Hi, folks. I'm holding my credit cards, and you know why. Given that this is the internet, maybe I'll put my credit cards down before somebody a little too smart figures out how to suck the numbers off my card. But maybe it doesn't matter because certainly anybody with a credit report, 150 or so million Americans, have had their sensitive data out and available to hackers because of the Equifax data breach. All right, so a lot of advice out there, a lot of news, people debating what to do. Thought I'd share what I have done. Since we're the Future of Privacy Forum, always trying to think a little bit, how do we get beyond the immediate thing that many of us should do? Well, let's start with the immediate, right? The immediate, hopefully, thing that you have done is you froze your credit at Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and I think there's a company called Innovian seems to be the number 4. Not just Equifax. I've heard people saying, well, I took care of it at Equifax. Your problem is not Equifax. Your problem is that in this country, we have a system where it is very convenient when you're at a store and they say 20% off if you apply for our store credit card. We'll do it right now. Just give us your driver's license and bam, you got credit and you got a discount. That's lovely, isn't it? Or you want a cell phone, and can they trust you with running up bills and so forth before you've paid? They run a credit check, right? We run credit checks all the time in order to take advantage of getting credit. It's quick, it's cheap, it's easy, and it means that when someone has the critical information that is needed about you to apply for credit, they will be applying for credit, phones, store cards, new credit cards in your name. So you need some way to clog up that system because all of our data is now available. Now, I'm hoping that all of the credit agencies, again, we're talking Equifax, and I hope they'll come up with some good solutions and lead on ways to move forward. However, the solutions that we do need now are no longer, well, how do we make sure that a hack like Equifax's doesn't happen again? How do we make sure we address this breach that's got to happen? We need to address the fact that the system we have used until now, which has relied on name and address and social security number and some other basic information like that, may have been really badly compromised. I don't know the full extent of all the data that is out there, but please make sure you go to all of the 4. It would be nice if there was one simple place. Melanie's here. Maybe I will ask her and our crack communications intern, Matt, to actually get the links to the 4 places you need to go and complete. I will tell you, I had a little bit of trouble doing it at Experian. I don't know why. They said, well, send in this, send in that. The others, I was very quickly able to do online and instantly freeze my credit. Now, in certain states, you get a fee to do that. In Maryland, where I am, I didn't have to pay a fee. And I believe that Equifax is not charging anyone a fee, which is a good thing. But I don't know whether the other credit reporting agencies still have a fee. It would be really nice if in this time of need, they dropped that fee, since now they have a responsibility, which is instead of approving willy-nilly future callers for credit, what speed bump can they put in the way? What additional information isn't in that breach that most of us have that can provide an additional layer of security? What happens when you freeze? So when you freeze, you get a PIN number at many of the agencies, and you'll get a call, and you'll have to give in that PIN number, or you'll have to provide the PIN number to the entity looking to approve your credit to create that barrier to the bad actor doing so. Okay, but I labeled this, are you thinking about your tax return? Many of us, millions and millions of Americans, in addition to dealing with credit and identity theft over the years, many of us have filed our taxes and then found that someone filed our taxes in advance for us. Now you think, cool, great. not so great. They didn't pay your taxes. They filed claiming a massive refund in your name sent to them. This happened to me 2 years ago. Giant pain in the neck. I didn't know until my accountant sought to e-file my taxes for me and got a notice saying, well, someone has filed taxes with this number before. Either check your number and type it in properly or you're screwed, right? Didn't say that, but I was screwed. And the reason I was screwed is because the IRS still does not have a very effective system in place to prevent that. I wasn't able to, for whatever kludgy reasons, get a PIN. And so, of course, despite the alert that they should have on my account, they once again, when I filed last year, my taxes were filed and someone obviously, presumably, they won't tell you secret confidential information. You can't divulge taxpayer info. So they won't actually tell you, well, here's what happened. Someone filed on such and such day and claimed that they made, 10,000 and that they're owed a giant refund. You would think that if somebody's paid taxes for many years and always e-filed and always had it wired to one account, if suddenly there's a giant change in their income and they're very poor and they're entitled to a big refund with big losses or whatever the case is, and by the way, could you wire it to a debit card, which is how this works, right? If a check showed up at my house, that would be a different story. But it's wired to a debit card. That some bells would go off, like, hello, big data, AI, machine learning. Like, can some algorithm be spotting if suddenly you want to wire your money to a unusual place that you have never previously did, and it is a refund? Maybe someone might look at that. I don't know what they're up to up there, but evidently it's a huge problem. So this year, I finally got a PIN from the IRS. We'll see if that works. The odd thing is that this year, maybe they did have some sort of fraud system. My taxes were filed by the strange bad actor, but the check went to me. Isn't that nice? IRS, are you listening? I have a $20,000 check. Now, I haven't spent it. I haven't deposited because I know that eventually, like in 10 years, you're going to be like, hello, can we have that money back? So I got it. Come and get it if you want it. I will walk down the block and drop it at the IRS. But sorry, bad actor, crook. They're not smart enough to prevent this, but evidently they somehow either are so incompetent that they didn't send it to where it was supposed to go, to the bad guy, or they are flagging it and they won't allow it to go to a different place. But anyway, sucker, the guy who's using my data, I got your 20 grand, you ain't getting it. Okay, so why do I mention this here? Because the way someone has filed my taxes and the taxes of millions of others, costing the Treasury millions and millions and millions of dollars. Donald Trump, you want to do something as a so-called efficient businessman, go figure out why the IRS is sending unneeded, unexpected returns, not to dreamers or immigrants, but to real bad actors. Who knows where they are? Maybe not in America. People with debit cards they're loading up their money. In any case, the reason I bring this up is your taxes now that your Social Security number is out there can be filed in your name. How about that, right? That's your taxpayer ID. So if you don't want to have happened to you what has happened to me, what can you do? Well, I'm not quite sure. You could try to get IRS to put on a PIN. I think you've got a claim to be a victim of identity theft. Well, guess what? We all are. So maybe they will do so. You could file your taxes the first day that it is possible to file, I suppose, if you're efficient enough. Then when the bad guy gets around to it, your taxes will have already been filed. I'm not quite sure whether there are other solutions to that. But thinking for the future, please don't think just Equifax. Think all your credit needs to be frozen so that the major credit reporter folks can not give credit to to the bad guys. And please be aware of the concerns around your taxes being filed. That is an increasingly growing scam, and it does not appear that the IRS in any way is able to be getting ahead of this. Anyway, happy Thursday. Sorry to talk about such a sad thing. I will give a plug to my Amazon Prime card. I can hold this one up because it doesn't have any number on the front, so the bad actors hopefully can't get it. But I love using it because it gives me a big discount built in to Amazon. So when I buy books, buying a lot of books now for privacy, for technology, even for the Jewish high holidays. I just bought a book called Jews versus Aliens. What the hell is that going to be about? I don't know. It sounds interesting, as well as some other interesting reading. And so I don't pay for it because I can just click pay with the points that have been built up. So be nice if it gives me that sort of discount automatically off of the Whole Foods prices. Hey, Amazon, anybody listening? If my card, using my card at Whole Foods, automatic, or my book buying gives me discounts off those expensive avocados, that's not a bad idea either. Anyway, thanks for paying attention today, and talk to you next time.